Hey, me, Callie Carroll. Good morning, sunshine. Morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshines. Daily dose of perspective. Good morning, sweet baby sunshines. Good morning, sunshines. Let's get started. You pick the fight because you pick the story. And here's what happened, you guys. It was this morning. And I was having a conversation with John Carroll. And after said conversation, I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a daily dose of perspective and talk to my friends about this because there is so much reality in what I'm about to share. It's wild. And the reality of it is that it's shaping your life, your friendships, your marriage, your show up, your joy. That's the truth. Okay, so here we are. By the way, I sit in a parking lot and do these. I wonder if people just drive by and look like that, like, look at that batshit crazy lady just sitting in that parking lot by herself. They probably do, or maybe they sit and listen. Hey, you can also slow down my voice. It's like you can change this like half speed because I know I talk fast, and if I don't talk fast, I can't get this done in 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, so John Carroll and I, we're talking this morning with quotes around it. Really, he's doing his storage drawers. He's like starting to list different things. I'm about to go to the gym. The kids are doing YouTube Friday. Let's not talk about what that means right now. Social media is gone. Social media. I mean, like all devices are gone. So we do this one special thing once a week. Anyways, I'm like, hey, honey, as I leave, don't forget that you need to set a timer for 10 minutes, and then the kids are going to switch who gets to pick the show that they're going to watch. And he just doesn't say anything. He's just staring at his computer, just staring at it. And this happens a lot where I'm like, okay, at what point do I like get his attention? Because often we'll have a conversation. He's like, well, did I look at you? Did I acknowledge what you said? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, then I didn't hear you. That like, you have to make sure that I hear you in order to know that I heard you. So after he's just like staring into the blank space, I'm like, babe, did you hear me? Yeah, I heard you. I'm like, okay, so make sure set a 10-minute timer. Yeah, I got it. I heard you. I'm like, okay. So that's it. That's the whole moment, right? But I walk away, I step away and walk around the corner from this moment, and my brain starts to think about this interaction and how in this moment I get to choose whether or not I want to pick a fight or if I want to move on with my day. If I want to be like, hey, can we have like whatever? Like, I don't even want to go to that piece of it because I could very well choose the I want to pick a fight. And what my brain immediately thought of at this point is how we create situations and we decide if we want to pick fights depending on the story that we've created in our mind, which once you write the story in your mind, the word is in your mind, then becomes your reality because you make sure that it becomes your reality. And what I mean by that is I've had chapters in my marriage in the past where I had a story about how we were always fighting, about how we were so disconnected, about how I was here and he was here, and blah blah. You know, in your marriage, you go through those, your friendships, everything, like right. And I had the story about how things just were always whatever, like not working out well. And in that chapter of my life, when I had created and made up that story and decided that was my reality, I would have picked a fight in that moment. I would have been like, perfect. He just gave me another reason to fight. Let's fight about this. Like, let's get uproarious. Like, I'm gonna dive so hardcore into this that we could have left with us yelling at each other, me walking out, going to the gym, and us having this like maybe this argument and unease for days, if not weeks, because I it was also very good at holding a grudge because I wanted to keep that story going. And I like had this reality check of like, this is so cool. Like I know that was just a little moment, but I could have made it a very big moment. And I acknowledged to myself, like, that's not my story. That's not the story that I choose. The story that I choose in my marriage right now is that we are thriving and growing and learn together, and we have respect as well as individuality, and we support one another's, hobbies and careers and pathways and the way that we give to the family. And does that require communication and maybe some different movement and how we do things from time to time? Absolutely. But is this any reason to pick a fight? Nope. Nope, it's not. This is how our communication usually goes. All I have to do is double check, make sure that he heard, maybe triple check, maybe call him on my way there and say, hey, did you do that thing I asked you to do? And then we're just going to move on. Then we just have a great day, a glorious day. Here I am having a wonderful day. I'm going to go back. I'm going to play with my babies. Everything's going to be perfect because that's the story that I've written for my marriage and my life right now is one of peace, happiness, joy, gratitude, appreciation for one another, and love. And I feel like I can share from this space because I have chosen a different story at times. And I wanted to share today because there might be an area, maybe it is in your relationship, where you've created a story.
They don't pay enough attention to you. They always forget things. It's they. That's where like you really point this finger about how it's not going to work out with you guys, or how if it does, it's just going to be like we just have a mediocre or marriage, or we're just roommates living together, or whatever that is. And the more that you say that story and you embrace that story, you will make sure that that is the chapter you are in. You will write that story because you will decide to pick every single fight you can. You will decide to pick apart every single thing that you can to make sure that you're right, because we always want to be right. And you get to be right if you keep showing up in a way that supports your story. So my question is, what's your story? What story are you choosing right now? If you're in a relationship that seems like pretty broken and like just challenging, maybe you want to come together and say, hey, I'm ready to write a new story. This isn't the story that I want for our friendship. This isn't the story I want for our parent-daughter relationship. This isn't the story I want for our marriage. This isn't the story that I want for my relationship with my mom, with my dad, whatever it is. I want to write a new story, and here's how I want to show up. And when you do, you'll start to notice the good, and you'll start to let go of the things that aren't exactly as you wanted to become. So watch your story, mind your words up here, because whatever you're saying up here is going to fabricate in the world in front of you. That's all I have today, you guys. Perspective reveals miracles. Don't forget it. I am Callie Carroll, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and, of course, share with your friends. Guys, that's how we impact more lives. All right, see you next time.